Hey, everyone. It's Friday night. It's your night when I come to you in this community. We talk about anything, educate, inform, inspire, just about anything, some humor and some real business, or just something that pretty much what I have been reading or what I have encountered. I always like to share with you what I've learned and what has inspired me, some things that I thought that would be helpful to you or for you. So if you're going to be watching me live, let me know where you're watching from. And if you're going to be watching the replay, also let me know where you're watching from because I always like to know where folks are watching me from. I can always come back if you leave a comment and give you a shout out. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about in the moment. Be completely involved in the moment. And you're going to be, I learned a lot. I was reading this book, of course, and the writer gave some really cool tips how you can be completely involved in the moment. Because how many times someone is actually speaking to us or trying to get our attention, and we're all over the place. Our eyes are over there, our ears are over there, and we're not giving them the attention. We're not involved in the conversation. Somebody might need help or whatever it is. You're helping, so you're just even in your own stuff, you just be like, there's no focus. So as I was reading today, I thought, this is interesting. It has helped me, so I hope that it's going to help you as well. So the writer talks about being completely involved. Being completely involved. And before I actually go into the topic, let me introduce myself. My name is Yvette Garel, and I come to you live in this community once per week. As I promised that I would be here live. It could be any day, but I come on a Friday or on a Saturday morning. I am here to inspire, to educate, to inform, just to share. I might not be the expert by no means, but I like to share what I have read and has helped me, or anything that inspired me, or something that's going on, that's something that might help someone along their journey as well. So I'm here to talk about in the moment, to be completely involved in the moment. As I was reading today, my attention was I looked back even over my own personal life, and started to think, how completely am I involved in what I'm doing, or how completely was I involved in what has transpired in time past? Because I can look back and I can see vividly some things that has happened in my life when I wasn't like completely there. I wasn't probably completely listening, or I maybe have been like, oh yeah, I'm hearing, but you're not really like in tune with what is going on. And so tonight I had to, while I was reading this over the weekend, I had to really I had a little moment. I'd be like, oh, well, I need to maybe get back to what I know is correct. Hi, Sandra. Thanks for watching. Yeah. So, in the moment, how involved are you in, say, for example, it's a conversation. Someone is having a conversation with you, conversation, there's going to be some dialogue, but there are a couple of things that we really need to pay attention to as individuals, on personal lives, as what we do as business folks, or just anything. When I talk about stuff here, it doesn't necessarily have to do with business, it has to do with life in general. Because first of all, before you can be a business owner, you're a human, right? You have your families, you have maybe you're in relationship, your husband, your partner, your fiance, children, the dog, the cat, and others around you in your community, your church parishioners, people far away from you. And so we are always and consistently and constantly be in a position where we have to have dialogue, where we have to have conversation. So, how completely are you involved in that moment? Where's the focus? Sometimes we sit around the dinner table and someone is talking, and man, we are so far away. What the songwriter says, my body's here with you, but my mind is on the other side of town. if that's the correct line. Yeah, because you could be right here physically and your mind is way over there. You're not there in the moment. And we got to catch ourselves sometimes, because what we call that daydreaming, we daydream sometimes. We're here and we're getting information, and our mind is way over there. It's something we have to practice, to be in the moment, to be right where we are physically. Bring your mind so you can be totally engaged in what is happening. It could be something that you're doing of yourself, and it could be a conversation you're having with someone, because sometimes you're on the phone, and we said we are multitasking. Yeah, we're it's something about being in that moment. It's very personal. Something about being in that moment and how effective you can be in that moment, even for the person that you are talking with or trying to help, and even for your own personal self. And so the writer made a point. He said, you should be completely in the moment in everything that you do, and in with everyone that you meet. We know that sometimes it's not altogether practical, but this is something that we should practice, because sometimes you're trying to get another person's attention, and they're way over there. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm trying to get his attention. I'm trying to get her attention, and she's not even paying me any mind. And so remember that if you're trying to get someone's attention, you also want to remember if someone's trying to get your attention. It's the same feeling. It's the same. You have a thought to express, and yeah, no, who's listening? Okay, so it is something that we have to practice. It is something that, if you weren't trained in doing that, growing up, yeah, it is something that it will just leave you, because that it's a skill. It's not like we were born that way. I believe. I don't know. I'm not a um, that expert in that field, but I believe it's growing up. If you were not exposed to in the environment in which you live, then you wouldn't even like pay that any attention. But if you were kind of groomed up and grown up, that would become a part of your DNA. It become a part of you, that you listen when someone speaks. You close up, you listen before you speak. And so the author recognizes that this can be a problem sometimes. Many times we miss it. We miss it simply because we are not completely involved. And he said that the truth about being completely involved is that there's no way you can fake it. If you're talking to me, if you're talking to me, and if I'm not like truly listening, you'll know. Because if the person's heart and mind is so, when you're completely listening to someone, it is so evident. You can actually feel it. You can pull that sense of right in that moment, that the person is so in tune with what you're saying. Yeah, if the person is tuning you out, you know. Yeah, if the person is tuning you out, because a lot of times folks don't sit long enough, including me, to hear the entire conversation. Maybe it's too long. Maybe you don't have time, but might want to reschedule that for another time. But if you're going to do justice to a situation, then you must find time to listen to the conversation, or listen to what is brought forward. So takes on some patience, right? Takes on some patience. And you can know when somebody is tuning you out, when the person is not listening. All right. And so the author talks about a few things that we can take into consideration. I want to share that with you tonight. All right. To be completely involved, he said, it's not a technique, it's just a conscious choice. I say you have to develop that skill, because if you don't practice it, then it's not going to happen. But you can choose. Yeah, you can choose to listen. You can choose to tune me out. You can choose to like go to another social media page. You don't have to listen. You can choose. So it's merely a choice. But I'm telling you to sit or to stand and to listen to someone, or about something, or even focused in your own personal stuff. It's something that you have to work on. You have to develop. Because I had to work on that. You have to sit your little butt down to get your work done within the time frame that you have. Or if you need to get information, then you have to find yourself in the space to sit down or to pick up your phone or to get on the podcast or get in the maybe on the webinar, whatever. Get the information. You have to be present in the moment. So while it is a choice, it's also you have to also be disciplined to remain there, to endure until the end. Because you can't leave halfway, right? You have to be disciplined to sit there and to endure. Yes, you might need to get a glass of water, but man, that information is so good, and you really want to get everything that in that moment you want to hear. You want to hear, you want to know, you want to understand, you want to get grab that skill, you want to grab that knowledge. So while it is not a technique, and the writer said it's a choice, you have to focus. So the mindset, a lot of things happen up here. Pretty much everything happens up here. Pretty much everything is mindset. You got to shift. You got to choose. You got to make decisions. You got to shift. You have to do all these things. Got to set your mind. You got to be ready for it. You've got to be like, put some things away. You got to prioritize, all that good stuff. So you got to shift. So while I believe, yes, you have to be disciplined to shift and remain in that shift, right? That's something you have to practice. That's something you have to practice. You can't be just willy-nilly all over the place. So if you know you need that information, if you know you have something to do and you really need to get it done and it has to be done, then you got to sit your butt down and get it done. There's no two ways about that. But if you keep shifting, getting up all over the place, you might spend a longer time getting it done. If you just make a conscious decision and focus, then you get it done. But you got to be all in. You got to be completely involved. Like your whole being got to be immersed in this thing and be like, block out the distractions, take everything out, clear your schedule, whatever you need to do. And so to get it done, right? But so the author says it's not a technique, it's a choice. And we made that choice by shifting our mindset. Okay? Using the following techniques. Okay? We shift our mindset with the following techniques. And he has 6 techniques here that I'm going to share with you tonight. And then you see which one works for you, if something you want to try. And if you just want to listen to me, it's fine. And you don't want to try it, it's okay. But it might just help you out. Or you might be able to help someone, share it with someone. Okay? Remember now, I just what I share, what I get, I give, right? Okay, so the first one the writer talks about, he said, let the other person be the star. In a conversation, when sometimes we just want to steal that moment. We have to have the last word, right? Let the other person be the star. By giving others a spotlight, we can recognize and help develop others. Yeah. So, if somebody comes to you with a situation, you want to let them, that's their moment. You want to listen. You want to listen to what they have to say, and then let them have their time. Let them say, let them do. Recognize that they're the ones that are coming. Let them speak their mind, pour out their suggestions, ask the question, and then you can respond. But you've got to let them be the star in that moment. Okay, number 2, focus on what is being said. Now, this is a huge one. This is a huge one, my friends. Focus on what is being said. Oh my goodness, how many times we're in a situation and, maybe in a class or in a conference or in a conversation, and folks don't keep the main thing the main thing. There's another book I read, and the writer said, keep the main thing the main thing. This writer says, focus on what is being said. Okay. So, we go down all kinds of rabbit hole and we don't remember the meat of the matter. Focus on what is being said. Keep the main thing, and deal with that. Whatever it is, could be this. It could be this pencil. Focus. It's a pencil. It's a color. It's about the eraser. It's about the point. Focus on that and keep the main thing. The main thing. Don't plan what you will say next while the other person is speaking, and that is happens all the time, running up and down in our head. So that's why I believe it's something that you have to practice. You have to practice this skill. Yes, it's a choice, but this is a technique. You've got to put it in practice and have the discipline behind it to let it work, because focus on what is being said. Don't kind up in your head what you're getting ready to say and the person is still speaking. Now you're missing it because you're not grabbing the nuggets of the conversation, right? Yeah. So we've got to shift our mindset and practice these techniques. That's technique number 2. Number 3 said, let the other person finish. Don't start talking until the person is done. Now, you know how that goes because we're so agitated and we're so, man, we got this thing. It's just like bubbling, bubbling. And I'm guilty of that too. Everything I'm saying here, I can attest to every last one of them that I have done. So I am not the perfect one here. I don't know who is, but it's something that we have to grow into. We need to practice. We always, when something, when we get these good suggestions, it's something that we have to practice that helps in our development, helps in our growth, right? As um, people, leaders, or just all of us are leaders. Remember that. So we lead someone, all right? Someone follows us, whether you're Mr. or Mrs. or, you know, Mas Tom or Uncle Jane. There's somebody that is following you, and there's somebody that you're leading. So as leaders or as people all over the world, we want to be able to instill these things in ourselves. And then I'm sure when others see it, they'll emulate it. They'll want to be like it. They want to do it. They want to be like, oh, yeah, I want to be like that, right? So let the other person finish. Don't start talking until the other person has stopped. That is something you've got to be like. So even if you have to bite your lips or be like, you've been in. I don't know about you, but I've been in situations all a lot of times, and when somebody's talking, the other person will go like this. They find a way how to govern the tongue, or how to just keep their mouth closed for not speaking. So you can find a way that you might, they'll be like, or they'll close their lips because it helps. They are thinking, not my time to speak. This is my way of keeping my mouth shut until the person is finished speaking. Huh? Because we are just so ready to speak and we are not even speaking to the situation sometimes, right? Number 4, he says, allow a moment of silence. Wow, this is powerful. This is powerful. Allow a moment of silence. When the other person stops speaking, let the words sink in. Oh my goodness. Let the words sink in before you respond. Oh my goodness. Now, this is powerful. Allow a moment of silence. I'm sure all of us have encountered that. And I'm sure that all of us need to practice that as well if we have not been doing that. And I can raise my hand. I need to practice that. And I like when I read something that I am gonna do or have been doing, and it has enhanced my growth because now it has helped me to be a better leader. So we give a minute of silence, let it sink in. Okay, let it sink in before you respond. It means then that you're more like internalizing these things, you're like sorting it out in your head and be like, okay, so you can put your thoughts together so your response can be more targeted to the main thing, right? To the thing, to what is being said. Because a lot of times, and you watch your television, we watch all these shows, we watch these documentaries. People answer the question before the question um, is completely the question is completely asked. They have not completed asking, and so jump right in the middle, and then you miss it, or we miss it. We miss that. So let's look at number 5. Review the important points when you start speaking. Now, this is key, because that way you can speak to what is it that you need to speak to. So after you have listened, then okay, it's A, B, C, D. Then okay, so you speak to those points. So make sure that you heard the other person correctly. So you be like, okay, this is what I hear you say, or this is what so if you're not saying what the person has said, then now they have an opportunity to correct that, because you want to make sure that you addressed it in the way that it's supposed to be addressed, and no incorrect information is passed on. So I want to keep the main thing, keep us focused, and address the points that have been raised. Okay. So then the last one, he said, offer your feedback, sharing your thoughts and ideas on what you heard. Oh my goodness. Now, this is so focused. Okay. So keep the main thing. That's the other author. This writer says, stay on point, keep focus on what is being said. This is key. So if you haven't gotten anything from me tonight, remember that in a conversation, or in a, whether it's be husband and wife, children, partners, in organizations, we need to be focused on what is being said. And so in this time of life and in this world, there's so many things that are being said, and we could go down some rabbit holes, and we could take conversation here and there. But if we practice these techniques, then we can be completely involved in the moment, in what we do, and in everything we do, and even when we're talking to someone. So I'm just going to go over them again for the benefit of just clarity. Make sure if you're writing them down, you now have an opportunity to make your list complete. So let the other person be the star, okay? Let the other person be the star. People want to be heard, okay? People want to be heard. They want to be listened to. All ears, okay? Focus on what is being said. Yes, focus on what is being said. This is so important. Let the other person finish. My goodness, give them the time of the day. Let them complete what they're saying. It's so disrespectful sometimes. And just from my perspective, you just cut the conversation off. I mean, it happens all the time. I've seen it happen all the time. And it even happened to me, because sometimes you're so heated and you just want to just get in there. But we have to practice that technique. We have to pull back. We have to, get the discipline to just wait. Okay. Allow moments of silence. Now, absolutely love this one. Allow moments of silence, because it gives you time to gather your thoughts. And I've been in instances where this has been practiced, but I did not get it until later on in life. Even before reading this book, I had an opportunity to have those kinds of encounter, because I learned it in somewhere in my studying, yeah, about that moment of silence. So I love this one, because it really pulls back the curtain, and man, it creates that suspense. But when you speak, you're speaking to what you have heard. Okay, let it sink in before you respond. And number 5, review the important points. Okay, because a lot of times we miss it. Review it. So this is what I hear you say: A, B, C, D. So the person has an opportunity to correct the language, to correct the what you have said. Making sure now when you respond, you're responding to the correct. You're responding with the correct information. And the last thing now is offer feedback based upon what you heard, based upon the topic, based upon the subject matter, based upon what is the main thing, the main thing, the main thing. Keep it there. What you have heard, not what you think, what you have heard. Now, tonight, I don't know wherever you are on this big blue marble, you might be getting ready to go to bed. You might catch it in the morning, but this was so powerful. I thought I'd share this with you tonight. That in life, in general, we are so busy, and we just don't have a time to be completely involved in the moment. And that is so key, because we miss it a lot of time because we are not so completely involved in our own personal stuff and in the lives of others. So here's an opportunity for you to practice these six techniques. And you might not, you just take one at a time, and build on it. Okay, so you can do that with anyone, and the person doesn't have to be sitting beside you in your home. You could practice it from a distance. Someone's on the phone, you go to a meeting, you go to a workshop, wherever you go. Let's see if how this can work for us and make all of us better leaders, better persons to our partners, better. Practice it in your marriage. Oh my goodness. Practice it with kids. Practice it with your children, your siblings. Okay, so, if you have already had this training, teach someone. I think this can help a lot of folks in society and make this a world a much better place where we all exist and be in harmony with each other. So, tonight, I hope that you'll have a great, great Friday night wherever you are on this planet, and take care of yourself, love upon your family, and be safe. We are slowly coming out of that woodwork, and so we are so happy, but still be cautious. We are not quite there yet, but we are somehow feeling a little bit more, having a little bit more freedom to do some of the things that we could not do in the last 2 years, and we are grateful for that. So I want to thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. And for those who watch replay, leave any comments if you think that has helped you, if you think that what I said has impacted your life or anyone else's life. Feel free to share this video with anyone that you think it might help. I would be grateful. So remember now to look out for me and this on my personal page, whether it's a Friday night or a Saturday, somewhere around the weekend, with your nuggets for your time. It's your season, and you be well, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.